do this.
That's it.
Welcome to episode 8.
Senor,
Yo,
how you doing?
chilling.
You got your comic books out?
Yo, yes, I actually have like my 3 boxes right in front of me. My 3 boxes.
I got a jungle down here in my basement that I got to get rid of a bunch of stuff. Now I'm talking about like from comic books to G.I. Joes to radio control cars to studio equipment.
I'm here joined by special guest, my boy G. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's good, man. You know, we're just surviving here in this crazy times where we're forced to be inside, where everyone else is outside.
Yeah, and we're in here stuck. But either way, this is our type of world.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God, this is just so funny.
That's why when this all happened, and everybody was stuck inside, and everybody was tripping about being inside. I'm like, oh, now you guys know what I feel like. Welcome to my world.
Yep, for real, man.
I'm always inside.
You're one of my like closest friends and a dude I look up to, and just so happens like you're one of the biggest comic book heads I've ever met. I had no idea. Just a quick backstory, like I met Gerry back in the day. You know, still do music and stuff, but like when I was like working at a recording studio, and then we got close. I can't remember when was the first time I think you invited me over. I remember you showed me your basement, dude, and I was just like awestruck.
Oh, with all the shit that I have?
Yeah.
Now it's worse.
Dude, tell me, like, how did it get that way, man?
Okay, well, I used to collect them when I was a kid back in 1986. So I started collecting like G.I. Joes and the Transformers because those were my favorite things. But then from there, I branched out into other ones. I started getting into superheroes. I started getting into Spider-Man and then getting into Iron Man and everybody. I just say anybody that was in a comic, I just started buying everything. You know what I mean? So then I had a big stack of comics from when I was like, I would say from like I was 11 until I was like 17.
Jesus.
Right. So by the time I reached 17, then I started, I was like, man, I'm gonna go out and see some girls, and I ain't gonna be in here messing with these damn comic books. I just got to that age where I thought, I was outgrowing them. So what I did is I gave them away.
What?
I gave them away. So I gave them away to this friend of mine, and then for years I stopped collecting until I was in my 30s. So it was from 17. At 17 I had done. I was done collecting, and then I came back in 2004, and I met the dude. I saw the dude again that I had given my comic books to, and he goes, I still have those in a box somewhere.
What?
And I'm like, you're kidding? He's like, yeah. Do you want them back? And I'm like, you don't want them? He's like, I like them, but he's like, but I know they're yours. And he's like, and if you want them back, I know you haven't seen them in years. He goes, I'd love to give them back to you. Well, I'm like, well, if you don't want them, it's like, then give them back. I'll take them. And so he gave them back, and I saw all these comic books that I saw when I was a little kid. I was like, holy cow. So I started reading them again, and I was like, okay, I'm like, I got to go on to finish some of these sets here that I have. You know what I'm saying? I started looking on eBay, and then forget it.
Dude.
That was my first time. I had never messed around with eBay until 2004, where I was looking for a comic book because somebody had told me, he's like, go check it. As a matter of fact, the guy who gave them back to me, he was the one that told me, check eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I'm not too into that stuff. It was, the internet stuff, the internet buying stuff was kind of new back then.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was already there, but it was like new to me, at least. So then I started collecting them, and then before you know it, I started going crazy. sunk myself in that world, and then you know, one set became two, and two sets became three. Then from there, I just started looking up everything that I could see that would interest me. You know what I'm saying? And I started getting into crime comic books, kung fu comic books. I got the whole Indiana Jones set.
That's crazy.
I've got everything. I got the entire Punisher.
It's like, just like for me, my point of view of this, like, and I'm my bad to cut you off, but like, I remember just thinking like, yo, Gerry, you know, geez, like this amazing musician that I met, you know, and then he's just super cool dude. And then I think we recorded some songs at your studio, and then
I think I still have those songs.
Yeah. Dude, I remember that though, but then I remember you're like, yo, he's like, you're like, you like comics? Yo, come check this out. And we go down to your basement, and I still remember that day so vividly, because I'm like, wow, I just stumbled into probably one of the biggest comic nerds in the county.
And you happen to be into comics, so
yeah, dude. And I was like, oh my god, I was just like,
that's when we knew it clicked.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, I just couldn't. I still sometimes I can't grasp that. Like, I couldn't believe it, like what I saw. And that's why when I was thinking about doing this and I started talking to you about it, I was like, yo, I got to get Gerry on here, because probably like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, comic book heads that I know.
Yeah.
But
do you ever read any kung fu comics? Do you like Shaw? Hold on. Let me change the subject for like a little second here.
Yeah.
Do you like Shaw Brothers movies?
The Shaw Brothers?
Yeah.
Give me a movie. Like, what's one of their movies?
Like 36 Chambers of Shaolin.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Do you know that I have the entire collection of the Shaw Brothers movies? That's almost 200 films.
Shut up, dude.
I'm that type of person. I just can't have the one movie. No. I gotta know what everything that Shaw Brothers did, and I gotta get it.
Man, you had like the copies, the hard copies?
Yeah, the DVDs and Blu-rays.
Jesus, I got a ton of movies too, man. But I tried to like.
You probably got a lot of new stuff, right?
Probably 90s, like 90s, some 80s stuff, and some 2000s. I need to get shelves, man. Someday when this is all over, you're gonna see my basement. It's dangerous right now. And movies, just all like surrounding my equipment, so like I can't get to my equipment.
Right. I hear you. Man. That's the way the basement is right now. I mean, my basement is like almost in gridlock. There's like little paths that I can take.
Oh man.
And you know that I never finished it. You know, do you remember that I had it started?
Yeah.
I never finished it. You know, now I'm upstairs because everything upstairs had taken over. So I'm gonna come back down here next year and try to finish this.
Yeah, man.
Because the mess has to go. I'm tired of it. I'm gonna tell you, I have all of the Batmans. I have the entire Punisher collection. I sold all my Spider-Mans except for certain stories. I've got almost all the Dark Horse Star Wars. You ever heard of Lone Wolf and Cub?
Yeah, I have.
That's an amazing story.
So what would you say? I mean, because you've been, you stopped collecting for a while and then you got back into it. And then
I stopped again and then got back into it again.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but this time I'm not so much into the comics. I'm more into paperbacks.
Oh, like the trades?
Right.
Got you.
Because I have so many of these comics down here, I'm like, well, I'm not going to continue with that shit. But then I think I'm making it worse because those are all thick. What now? Where do I put these mugs at?
Yeah, they take up a lot of space, man, on the shelf. Like, I got some trades. I think I got like a hardcover copy of like 300, and I got. I think when I started doing trades was probably back around like 2005. I started collecting like trade paperbacks, and like I got like Watchmen, and I got like The Killing Joke from Alan Moore.
I got the comics on that. See,
man, I gotta shout out one of my guys, Ruben. I went to a convention with him, and he took that comic from me, bro, when I was gonna buy it. To this day, I'll never forgive him for that.
It's a 12 set. It's a 12 comic book set.
Yeah.
And
did you see the animated film?
Huh?
Did you see the animated film?
The animated film? No, I haven't seen the animated film.
There's an animated movie, I think. That's what it is.
I saw the actual movie. I didn't see no animated movie.
Of The Killing Joke?
Oh no. The Killing. I like The Killing Joke. You know what else I got? I got all the aliens and all the predators and all the Terminators. Man,
that kind of stuff is rare, man. Like if you have it, and then just to try to like find it.
Right. That's why. That's exactly why I look for that type of stuff. Speaking of rare, you know what's rare is have you heard of the Don Rosa Uncle Scrooge books?
No.
That's kind of like kiddish, right? It's not.
Yeah.
All the adults love that stuff.
Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck?
Yeah, Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck. If you read any of those books, they're so sophisticated and so smart because they're talking about money and they're talking about stock market and they're talking about all sorts of economics in there. You know what I'm saying? Everything. And then all these adventures that they go through, it's amazing. I mean, it should be amazing. I mean, one of the set I got, it's a 10-volume set.
Yeah.
And one of the volumes was like $160, so $160 for a volume. That's like too much.
Yeah, dude.
But that I always think that when they're making those types of books, like for instance, like if you get number 1, 2, 3, 4, those are all available. But then all of a sudden you go to 5, and then 5 is not available, and that's expensive as hell. And then
it's gone.
And then 6 is there. 6 is available, but then 7 and 8 are not. Then 7 and 8 are super expensive. That's the 7 and 8 is the one that I pay $160. Then you got 9 and 10, which is kind of expensive, but it's not as expensive as those the ones that you just can't find. 5, 7, and 8 out of that set is just dead. That's crazy. The way I think they do that like on purpose, like with every book, with every set, because every set that you try to get, it doesn't matter if it's a Star Wars volume of 12 hard books and 12 hardcover books. Every set that they make, they're always underproduce at least 2 or 3 books out of that set for some stupid reason. Let's say they got 1 million books of each to sell, and let's say on 5 they'll go ahead and say, okay, well, let's make 200,000 of that one, and then next you're shit out of luck if you didn't get it.
But that's how I am too, man. Like like collecting wise, when I was a kid, I started collecting. I think when I was like 13, probably.
Yeah.
And it was probably more because of my brother, because he just had a big stack of comics that they weren't like all complete, but it was like stuff of that time that was pretty dope. Like it was Todd McFarlane's like Spider-Man run. Yeah. I
sold my 300s. I had 2 of them, man.
But dude, that stuff is like, I mean, I guess we were lucky, to come up in that time just to be able to see it when it came out.
Right.
And like Peter David's run on Incredible Hulk, that's like probably my favorite comic to still try to collect.
The Hulk?
The Incredible Hulks, yeah.
I have very little of that.
Like, that's where, like, when you're talking about eBay, that's like kind of what I'm doing now, to try to piece that whole series back together that I used to have. And but like, yeah, I grew up in that era too, man. Like, late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
I remember the Conan comics.
Oh, I love the Conan comics.
I remember reading those as a kid. I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be reading this.
I used to read those as a little kid. As a matter of fact, I think that was
really graphic,
comics
man,
that I've ever read.
Yeah.
Because my aunt used to have these kids living with her, like her nephews and shit.
Mm-hmm.
She had some kids that were living. They were about, I must have been like 8 at the time, and these kids were probably about 16, 17, and they knew how to draw. So I would go into their and then my aunt, she didn't know better. When I would stay at my aunt's house, and then she didn't know any better. She'd be like, "Here's some cartoons that you could on this magazine." So I'd be looking at that shit. I'm like, these there's titties. I'm like, man, this is nice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's it's so graphic, dude. And it, not just like nudity, but like also like
sex.
Right. But like the way he would be killing characters or like killing creatures and stuff like that.
No, right. It was like very, very brutal.
Yeah. And I was like, man, these are dope. But it's weird, man, to grow up in that era. And like now it's like we're just trying to find, like I'm still trying to find stuff every once in a while. What do you think of like the way some of the comics have been portrayed in movies and stuff?
It depends. I think sometimes, like, what's that dude? What's his last name? Snyder?
Yeah, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. I think he does pretty decent job.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about him that I like is that he actually listens to the crowd that he's trying to appease.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He's not just trying to. I don't know if you remember the guy who did Star Wars 8. Everybody hated Star Wars 8. And
Rian Johnson.
And what did he tell the crowd? He told the crowd to go F themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what he did. He just told it, and then what happens? They don't give him another movie for that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he totally failed at it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Snyder, he does the opposite. He'll listen to the fans' critique, and then he'll, you know what I'm saying, and he'll go and see, well, okay, what did I do wrong here?
Mm-hmm.
Look at it and say, okay, well then I'll fix it in this one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I like him as a director. But then you got other and like for instance the Spider-Mans. Let's go Marvel now.
Mm-hmm.
The Spider-Mans, to me, Tobey was the best. Tobey Maguire was the best Spider-Man movies. Those are the best movies. The first two. The third one was I always kind of like, eh.
Yeah, man, they totally messed up Venom in that third one.
Yeah, the third one kind of messed it up, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? There was a scene that I couldn't stand was the part where it was like in the final battle with Spider-Man and Venom and Sandman.
Yeah.
And then you had what's his name? J. Jonah Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
He's down there arguing with the little girl to try to buy a camera.
Yeah.
You remember that scene?
Yeah, I remember that.
And you could see, when they're looking, they got a camera on them from a up position, from a higher position while they're looking up, like pretend that they're looking at the fight, right?
Right.
Well, right there, you could see that they weren't even outside, man. Like a studio there. I'm like, the stage. Like, y'all clowning now. Like,
oh my God!
Separated from that scene that what I'm saying. You see the scene up there, and they're on the building, and they're kicking each other's ass and hitting each other, and then next thing you know, they look down at them mugs on the stage and shit. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? They need to have some better continuity here. This shit is off.
That was, I think that's why Sam Raimi, he directed all three of them, right? And then I think that third one is what kind of did him in, because I think he had a plan for the fourth one where he wanted to do the Sinister Six, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that, they didn't let him because that third one was so bad.
Right.
That kind of happened, I think, with Avengers too, man. Like when they did the first two Avengers movies, I think, like the directors, I don't know if they get fried out from working with all these actors.
Yeah.
That they.
No, I think the writing is here's the thing. They start writing their story, right? And instead of sticking to the content that's already there in the books and the lore, use that. I mean, there's enough story there.
Yeah, there's tons.
Why do you want to sit there and try to make up your own shit? You know what I'm saying? It's like, stop with that stuff.
That's the true thing, man.
These guys are actual comic book writers and they're comic book fans, and then next thing you know, you get a director who's not a comic book fan, and then some writers who are really not comic book fans, and they kind of like, okay, well, let's do some research on this because these guys are professional writers. Okay, let's research on these on Spider-Man here. Okay. Well, from what we researched here on Spider-Man, we can make a story about Spider-Man that goes like this.
Yeah.
Or we can make a story about anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like that first Punisher. Oh my gosh.
Which one? The one with Dolph Lundgren?
No, not even.
Yo, don't be bad about the Dolph Lundgren, man. I'm just kidding.
No, the one after that, the one with the dude.
Thomas Jane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't too into that. You know what I'm saying?
Did you?
Because, you know why? Because he didn't feel like a Punisher. Now, if you ask me about Punisher War Journal.
Yeah.
That guy looked just like the fucking Punisher. He scared the shit out of me as soon as I saw him. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it was Ray. I think it was Ray Stevenson's the actor name. Yeah, he was pretty good in War Journal.
Yeah, when he chopped that dude's head off right in the beginning. Remember that scene in the beginning where they're trying to like have a dinner or something, and he just shows up like the devil. All the lights shut off, and the next thing you know, he had that one torch. He lit the torch.
Yep.
The next thing you know, he was sitting there ready to kill everybody.
That's the Punisher, man. That's like it's like it's also sometimes with like the translation from comics to movies that gets lost a lot too. The embodiment of the character,
right?
Like it's hard to find actors like that sometimes.
Right, but I think they got it good with him. You know who I've never liked as an actor when he not never liked, but when he was young, I didn't really care for him.
Who's that?
Was Ben Affleck.
Oh,
but to me, he was the best looking Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he was good, man.
Right? Come on.
Yeah,
he looked like freaking Bruce Wayne.
He did.
He has the jaw and the chin.
Yeah.
That flat, long chin.
Yep.
I'm like, that's Bruce Wayne right there, man. I'm like, that's like the comic book version of his ass. And here's the thing. He's a fan. He's a comic book fan.
Yeah.
Since he was a kid. That's like, he's a comic book nerd. So he's like deep. And here's the thing. He used to have, as a kid, he used to dream to be Batman in something. Can you imagine having that as a kid? Next thing you know, it happens to you in real life. I know a lot of people knock that movie, like the Batman vs Superman, but like I honestly think he was probably the best part of that movie. Yeah, he was.
Because he was, I mean, that was like the dark, brooding Batman, like, and the shots too, man. And the imagery that like Zack Snyder would use in it was
right.
Like,
it was fantastic.
Yeah,
I really liked that movie. I thought it was entertaining.
The director's cut, dude. Yeah, it's really good. It's long, but it's a lot better.
I mean, everything can be always better than it is, but I mean, as far as what we've gotten, I think that's a good Superman and Batman movie.
Yeah,
that's that one's legit, if I can say so. And I also like the Man of Steel.
I like Man of Steel too,
which was the first part basically of that movie.
Yeah. Now, did you, growing up, like, you know, obviously you were into comics and stuff. Did you like the first comic book movies, like Superman, the original Superman with Christopher Reeve?
I watched those like religiously. I would watch those, you know what I'm saying? And then when that other Superman came, which was like a remake of the old ones.
Yeah.
The one with what was it? Spacey, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, where he played Lex Luthor.
Yeah, where he's playing Lex Luthor. I thought he was a great Lex Luthor.
He did a good Hackman version of Luthor, man.
Right. I thought he was a good Luthor, but everything else was, I think, and you know what? The Superman was decent. I think everything was decent, but the story was boring.
Oh yeah, it was.
That's the only thing that I was just bored of the story. I was like, okay, I like the way it looks. Everybody looks decent here. Everybody looks good. I'm just not interested in the movie.
Then there's a whole question of how does Lois Lane get pregnant by Superman and have a kid without him killing her? So.
Right, shooting. Without him blowing her brains out?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Did you like Michael Keaton's Batman?
Oh yeah, I like that one because it that one gave me a feel of old school comics, like something that was just outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I like the style. I it's done like that on purpose. A lot of people think, well, it's kind of cheesy. I'm like, yeah, it's cheesy, but that's the point of it.
Right.
It's sort of like the '60s Batman.
Yeah.
The '60s Batman was cheesy as hell, but I still love it because
Dude, I
that's the
grew up.
point of it.
Yeah. Just like the Hulk from the '70s, man. That's
Right,
it's cheesy, but I love it. I
right. Lou
always,
Ferrigno.
Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno. That piano riff, dude, is like legendary to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that piano riff is amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And then at the end, it hits you in the heart, especially when it's walking away.
Yeah.
Remember? He's like taking back. He's going back into like walking.
Hitchhiking.
Hitchhiking. He just left this little story here of his life. He's like, okay, let me keep on going out of this town. They don't want me here.
That I don't know, dude. Why don't they do another show like that with the Hulk? I mean, that would be. I think that would work.
Yeah,
because that's basically the Hulk to me, and like even in the comics, like he's except for the little period of time where he's like Joe Fixit and he's in Vegas, and he's like that's from the Incredible Hulk. I think it's like 350 and up, like where he's like he plays like a bouncer basically for like some casinos.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, when he's the Gray Hulk and like he's actually taken over. He won't let Banner come back out. But like before that,
is
it's
that
like
what's actually going on in that story?
Yeah,
Banner's
Banner's stuck inside him and he won't let him out. So that's why he's like the Gray Hulk. He doesn't turn green.
Oh. And how did that happen to Banner?
I think it's like the very, if it's not issue 328, it's issue 329, where Peter David started the run on there. He's like, because that comic, I guess, like, I was doing a little research on it, and like a lot of like the Hulk wasn't selling at that time when he took over, and then that's when it kind of got popular again when he started writing for it, and like that is, I guess Banner's like contemplating killing himself. Yeah, basically committed suicide because he just don't want to be here anymore, deal with everything that happens with being the Hulk, and like the Hulk just kind of takes over. He's like, nah, we ain't having that. Basically, right. And he just won't let him back, in control. So when that happens, there's like kind of like I think there's an issue where it's almost like a
Hulk said, "I'm not dying."
Like the original Hulk is kind of like, I think the cover is kind of like where he's morphing into the Hulk, kind of like a Frankenstein thing. Yeah. And that's kind of what's happening with this issue when he takes over. It just shows him kind of morphing into the Gray Hulk. Yeah. So then that whole storyline is kind of like, there's a cool little side story too with Wolverine where he's kind of like they're doing little side jobs together in Vegas, and it's cool, man. It's just different. But like not to get too, off track, like he was, and even in the comics, like the TV shows, like every city is a different story kind of thing. But do you remember any of the other shows from back in the day?
I remember the Spider-Man one.
Yo, I think I was a little too young for it. I remember seeing an episode of it. Yeah.
He'd catch the bad guys with the white rope net that would pretend to come out of his wrist. And then
I remember
climbing the walls. Remember when he was climbing the walls? You could always see the cable pulling him up the building, and him pretending to be touching the shit, touching the walls of the thing, and he's not touching anything. He's just making the motions and shit.
Oh my god! I don't even remember. I don't remember that. Whenever anyone asks me about it, I'm like, bro, I just remember him running around everywhere because he couldn't climb or something. Right.
He was always running around, and when they would show him climbing, there's like, okay, it's a climbing scene, Everybody's gonna see this bullshit, so we could only do a little bit of it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
No, and then they would have him pretend that he was climbing, and all they would do is just put the camera sideways on his ass, and he was actually on the damn floor.
Magic. Be magic.
The same thing they used to do with Batman, if you remember. He'd be climbing up that shit.
Yeah. Him and Robin all the time.
The cape is drooping downwards, but they're sideways like that. The cape is falling towards the building. Gravity's inside the building, not on the ground.
I remember the Hulk TV movies too. Like I think there was one with Daredevil and Thor, Judgment of the Hulk or something like that. Yeah, it's like a TV movie they made back in the day. Like it was like
Thor.
With Thor and Daredevil.
Oh, it was on Channel 5. I remember on Sunday. I remember that.
Yeah.
I watched that then.
I got that on DVD.
Do you?
Yeah.
I saw it when it came out when it premiered on NBC.
Yeah, dude. See, that's how hungry fans were back in the day for that stuff too, man.
Right. If they were fans, they were gonna see anything about it, and they were gonna watch that shit.
Yeah. Even, man, like, I'm trying to think of anything. I remember the Captain America movie. That was really bad too.
The Captain America movie?
Yeah.
The first one, yes, but not Winter Soldier and the first Captain America.
No, there was a TV movie, Captain America movie.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah,
but the one with the one that started off in the Marvel movies.
Yeah, the first Avenger.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I love that movie too. I think Joe Johnston directed that one, and that one had a great that actually kind of had the good feel. They had that campiness parts to it, like when he's doing the whole little shows for the military, and he's wearing that suit. But then, yeah, man, this is pretty awesome just to see that character like legit, you know.
Yeah, make him look like the actual thing.
Yeah. So, do you like the Marvel movies then, the MCU?
Oh yeah, I do. I think I had a little. I thought I was gonna have a problem with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
With the chick.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody was talking so much about it, so badly about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I watched it, I was like, I was surprisingly entertained. Well, it's not so bad. I'm like, I'm entertained. The thing is that they didn't like her because everybody kept on saying that, she's too perfect and she has no flaws and she's it's all a bunch of feminist stuff that they're trying to put in there. I'm like, when I watched the movie, because I kind of get bothered by that type of stuff too. But when I was like, you know what, let me watch it. And that's the reason why I didn't watch it, because everybody kept on saying that. But then I watched it not too long ago and I was like, this ain't bad.
Yeah, man, it's not bad. I like it.
I think people complain too much.
Yeah, you get like these. I think nowadays too there's like people that take too much ownership of like a property or like a.
Right, I understand. It's like me when I watch the Three Stooges. I don't see Three Stooges. I see family members.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That. Yeah, it's like, but then like you have this universe is like where these fans, right? Like they think it's theirs. They'll run to a comic book store, buy a graphic novel before the movie comes out, and then they'll think, "Yo, I know everything about it." And now, like, not knowing there's this years and years of different stories behind it. That there's fans that have been there from the beginning, and then there's like a different like view now with like I guess fair weather fans, maybe I would call it.
Yeah.
You have the movie people, and then you have the comic people.
Right. And then you got people like me that I'm in between.
Yeah, me too. I'm in between. I'm like that. Where
because I like my comics, I love my comics, but I also like watching a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like there's some. There is one thing I will say though, man, and I don't like the Michael Bay Transformer movies, man.
Ah, no. There you go. There you go, man. We agree on something. And you know what? It's not like I didn't try to like him.
I know, man. It's like you want to so bad.
Right. And then, no matter what, it's like I'm looking for things and I'll still defend it. I'll be like, well, it was, it transformed. Yeah, and then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, God, quit trying to fool yourself, bro.
Yeah, man. Bumblebee was pretty good though.
I haven't seen that, and I wanted to see that because I saw that the Transformers actually look more like the damn Transformers.
Thank you. Jesus. I think I said that, dude, when I did an episode a couple weeks back, and I'm like, that's what we always wanted, It's like G.I. Joe without, like, Duke or Snake Eyes.
Right, well, the way I saw the G.I., I was upset with the G.I. Joe, too. I mean, when I saw those G.I. Joe troopers.
Yeah.
Or the Cobra troopers, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was totally pissed off.
In, what they mean two movies? Yeah, the first two movies.
Yeah, the troopers with that. I don't even know what the hell they were. They're like space aliens and shit.
Yeah, they messed them up pretty bad.
Yeah, now they're doing a Snake Eyes with what is he? He's a Japanese dude.
Yeah.
That's another. I don't like when they do that neither. You know what I'm saying? When they change like the race of the character,
just to appease, like,
to appease certain people. You know what I'm saying? To appease groups and shit. So the rage mobs.
Yeah, I don't.
If it was me doing those movies, I'd give the big finger to all of those rage mobs. I give fingers.
They messed up. Like, did you see the Iron Fist show?
Yeah.
Like, that could have been done better too, man.
Yeah, that's I think the only one that didn't really work. I think what's her name? What's that girl? Jessica
Jones.
Jessica Jones was better than that, right?
Oh yeah, I think so.
And the only reason I think I like Jessica Jones is because it tied in so well with Black Rob.
With with Luke Cage.
Yeah, Luke Cage. He's looking at me like he didn't say nothing. He just shut up. Just Black Rob.
What? But
I threw that into
the Oh my god, dude!
I wanted to have you cringing over that. I knew you were gonna say nothing. You just shut up.
You're terrible. So then, I don't know where to go from there. No, I'm just kidding.
No, from Luke Cage. You know what I'm saying? It tied in so well with Luke Cage, and I really like Luke Cage.
Yeah, I like the first season a lot.
I haven't gotten to the second season.
Me either. I haven't seen the second season of that. I haven't seen. What do you think of? Did you see the Defenders? I haven't seen that either.
I haven't gone that far. No. I watched all of Daredevil. I thought Daredevil was fantastic.
Yeah. I like Daredevil too.
I like that dude. What's his name? Who played Shane?
John Bernthal?
Yeah.
For the Punisher?
Yeah.
Did you see the Punisher series?
No, I saw the first episode. I thought it was decent. I didn't go past there because I just haven't gotten to it yet. But
yeah, there's so much content now, dude.
It's not only that. It's like I got so much shit to do. It's like, every time I go sit down to watch a movie or something or watch a show, I'm thinking, should I be doing this now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I haven't seen the only time because I got a newborn. Well, not a newborn. He's like 1 year old. But the only time I get to watch stuff now is like when he's asleep, basically. That's it. If not, then there's always something going on.
Damn, when I met you, I had little ass kids.
Yeah, you did, man. How old are they now?
The youngest is 16.
Wow.
The middle one is 20.
What?
And the older one is 25.
Wow.
I've been married for 25 years, brother.
That's crazy, bro.
I don't feel like
Are they still there with you?
Yeah, they're still here.
That's cool.
Trying to make them fly the coop, but they still here.
Jesus. She's like, I need my time back.
Yeah, man. While I'm young still. Or at least while I still feel young. I'm not young anymore.
Man, only as young as we feel.
Right.
That's for sure. So then I think we've covered a good amount of comics stuff. We could definitely do more of these, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And movie stuff. Is there anything you're excited about at all?
Movies?
Yeah. Did you like the new Wonder Woman?
I haven't seen the new Wonder Woman. Is there another one?
Well, no, there's supposed to be one this year, I think. There's
okay.
supposed to be.
I saw the first one. I liked
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Yeah. There was some boring spots in there, but I thought it was okay. I mean, I didn't complain.
Yeah.
I thought she's pretty. I don't think she has the physique for her, but she's a pretty girl.
That's because we grew up on Linda Carter, bro.
Yeah, Linda Carter.
that's why it's different.
But I did enjoy it. I can't say I didn't enjoy it. The only thing I didn't like too much was that the dude was such a. I'm not gonna say that word. He was such a wuss.
Trevor.
Yeah, he was such a wuss in that movie. I'm like,
I can read between the lines. What about Yeah, for sure. Just kind of like that's more eye candy in the film, I guess.
Right.
But
it was interesting though. The one that I couldn't get past was not Black Rob, but Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
I don't know if I didn't like it. I just every time I try to watch it, I fall asleep. Somewhere where he's like in a car, and right around there, I'm like, yeah, every time. I must have attempted this movie like 4 times.
It has its moments, man. That's for sure.
Granted, every time I try to watch it, it's about 2 a.m.
Oh, you never. That's one of those. I'm gonna try, and then you end up out. It's too late.
Right. But there's other movies where I start watching at 2 a.m. I go straight through them. And have you seen that movie 1914?
No, not yet.
Is it 1914 or 1917?
I think it's 1917.
Is it 1917?
Yeah, okay. The one where it's shot in one long shot, I think.
You figured it out, huh?
I haven't seen it yet. I just heard about it.
Yeah, it's 2 takes.
2 takes?
2 takes.
Wow.
So that it just keeps following and following and following and following. I'm thinking to myself, when is this fucking camera gonna change? I'm like, who the hell is behind these people? And not only that, where were they at?
Where did they film?
Where did they film this place that they went? I can't even think. I mean, it's just that was amazing what they did there.
Yeah.
I mean, they went to. It started in the daytime. They ended up at nighttime. That's where I think they had to do the cut before it got to nighttime.
Oh, gotcha.
Not, I think the movie would have lasted 7 hours or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
They would have ran out of film.
Yeah, they would have ran out of film because they started off in the daytime and they ended up at nighttime over there.
Yeah, I got to check that out. Though before I let you go, though, I did want to ask you one question because you do have a lot of Star Wars comics. Is there anything like? Did you see the Mandalorian show at all?
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for that 2nd season.
Is there anything in comics similar to it, like Star Wars wise?
If you look up the Boba Fett and the Boba Fett series, that's pretty close because it's in that world. You know that they were gonna make. I don't know if you know this in the. I don't know how much you play video games.
Mm-hmm.
But did you know that they were gonna make a Boba Fett game?
A game? No.
Right. It was supposed to be an adult a rated M game for Star Wars because of the worlds that Boba Fett is involved in, which is the Mafia world.
Right.
In that universe. So, and during that time, they had the game already done, ready to release, and then Disney acquired it and halted the game. That could have been the best game ever. If you ever check out the what I think it's called 1313, Star Wars 1313. Look up that on YouTube whenever you get a chance.
Yeah,
and you're gonna see they stopped this game because that game is like what a Star Wars game should be.
Yeah.
They're actually making it right, and instead they Disney bought it, and Disney didn't want that shit because it's adult.
Got you.
So Lucasfilms, they had to do all sorts of different. They had to stop a bunch of stuff. So they're sitting on a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that they were sitting on a bunch of like supposed to be the Star Wars Underworld show or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think they actually filmed like a pilot or something that they never released.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I want to know what you thought. So you like The Mandalorian then?
Yeah,
you
I do like The Mandalorian. I think that's Jon Favreau, is it?
Yeah.
He's great, man. I mean, I think they should just, to be honest, I think they should just give the whole Star Wars thing to him.
Yeah.
Let him have it. He already knows what it's supposed to be like. He understands the Star Wars universe closest to George Lucas.
Yeah. It's that show is pretty dope, man. It definitely has like I don't know if you got that too, that like Western feel to it.
Oh yeah. It feels like I'm watching a Ennio movie.
Yeah. I think that's one of the. It's a takeaway from that. Like, it's definitely a Western,
but
it's like
Ennio music.
Yeah, and you don't know that though. Like, or people might not be aware that's what they're actually watching. You know what I'm saying?
They're watching old Red. The Mandalorian is actually Red.
That's awesome, man. Well, bro, we gotta do this again, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, it was. I had a good time here. We still got a bunch of stuff here that we can get into. There's a lot. Go ahead. So one of these days, just when you're doing it again, just give me a call, and I'll be glad to join you.
No, I appreciate it, bro. This was awesome, man.
Yeah, likewise, brother.
Yeah, if anything, is there anything, any reading that you recommend to people out there right now?
If I have to recommend something, I'm not gonna recommend no superheroes. I would recommend go get anybody out there. Go get Scalped. Great book about Indian reservations and the mafia within there. That's like an amazing story. 100 Bullets. I don't know if you've heard of 100 Bullets.
100 Bullets. I think, you know what? I have heard of that.
Yeah, 100 Bullets. If you ever get a chance, YouTube that. YouTube Criminal. A book called Criminal. Mm-hmm. That's an amazing book. Those I would recommend those to start. I got a lot more recommendations, but if not, I'll keep on going. I don't know if you've heard. When I was a kid, there used to be a book. I mean, when I was little, when I was like really little, there used to be a book that I used to see, a comic book called Son of Satan.
Son of Satan?
Yeah. It's basically it's a Ghost Rider. It starts off with Ghost Rider because Ghost Rider sells his soul to Satan to try to help one of his friends that was dying. Mm-hmm. And he ended up selling his soul for nothing because either way he ended up dying anyways. But he couldn't take his soul because for something that happened. I can't remember exactly what was the details of it, but something happened where he couldn't. The devil couldn't actually take his soul, but he was still cursed to be the
Ghost Rider.
The Ghost Rider, and turn into that at nighttime. He told him, he's like, well, since I can only have half of the deal, well, at nighttime every night, you're gonna be my man, basically. That's gonna be doing my work, my bidding. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be under my shit. At nighttime, he's like, during the daytime, I guess you could be you, but at nighttime, you belong to me. And it starts off in those stories of that, and it keeps on going into the actual son of Satan, which he's a base. He takes out demons out of people. He exorcises demons out of people. That's a pretty interesting book too. So if anybody wants to check that out,
awesome, man. That's a Marvel too, right?
Yeah, it's Marvel. I mean, my mom would trip right now if she knew I had that.
Yeah, my mom would too. ¿Qué es eso de Satanás?
So yeah, the criminal series with Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Those are great. Anything from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, I would say check it out.
Cool.
every book from them
Awesome.
is that they do strictly crime genre, but it's very good stuff. I got my 16-year-old reading that stuff now.
Awesome, man.
But here's the thing. I forced them to read. And here's another thing. Look, whenever they're punished from, like, if they're doing bad in school, that's their punishment. Can you imagine if our parents punished us like that?
Dude.
You know what? Here's Spider-Man on purpose. Go to your room and read that.
You're stupid. Oh my God. Yo, I can't get any better than that for an ending, dog.
Okay.
That was amazing. Yo, man, I appreciate this so much, man. We're going to definitely do this again, bro.
All right, brother.
So that was this week's episode. I got to thank my guest again, Gerry, my guy G Sharp. Thanks, man, for coming on again. Dude is literally a character coming off the page. And thank you guys for listening. You got any questions about any of the comics, any of the movies, any of the stuff we talked about in this episode, just drop me a line, hit me up with a message, and we'll talk to y'all again later. Thanks for listening.